Next is our finite slope analysis. If we are not talking about very large structure, which is generally the case, so if this is some small embankment or some cut in railway or highway, so this will not be very big, so this slope will be of finite nature, its length is not very large. So in that case, thus this slide or the failure surface is of circular nature, circular or having some curved, this is of curved nature in general we can say. So mostly this curve is circle or it can be log spiral or the combination of the two, but we'll just focus on the circle. So in this case, this slide is called as the rotational slide, whereas in case of infinite slope, the slide is called as translational slide. Now let's focus on the finite slope. So there are three modes of failure in finite slopes, that is slope failure and toe failure and base failure. These are the three failures I have shown here. A slope failure is the when the this failure surface just cuts the slope above the toe. So toe is what toe is the end of this slope. So this part is the toe where it fails from this point, and below anywhere below this it will be a base failure. So base failure basically cuts the or it touch this stratum which is there below the structure. So when does slope failure happen? Obviously when this part of the soil is stronger than this above part. So this above part moves. So in that case it will fail first. When does it happen? Generally when beta is very high or soil near the toe is strong. So as I said, if the soil is here part in this part, if it is stronger than this, so it will fail from here. Apart from this, next is our toe failure. So in this case, if this the soil below the toe and above the toe, if it is homogeneous, this part of the soil is homogeneous and below it also it is homogeneous, in that case toe failure will happen. Apart from this, in steep slopes generally, and this is the most common mode of failure. And the last is base failure. So base failure obviously when this foundation part is not very strong compared to our actual structure, in that case base failure can happen. And so there are general guidelines. Base failure basically it happens when slope is flat and this soil is weaker. Soil is weaker below toe part. There are some general guidelines which can be followed. So when beta is greater than 53 degrees and phi is greater than 3 degrees, so these are two individual criteria. If these two are there or any one of these is there, then it is toe failure. Whereas if it is phi is less than 3 degrees and beta is less than 53 degrees, it is slope failure. Now let's see how do we check the stability of a soil which is on a finite slope. So first we will see for cohesive soil and it is frictionless, so phi is equal to 0 and the cohesion is given as undrained cohesion, that is Cu. So what we do in this case, we find out the factor of safety along the slip surface. So this is one of those slip surfaces. There can be many other slip surfaces of the shape of a circular arc. So they will have different radius and different center, and we'll find out the factor of safety for that. And the surface for which the factor of safety is minimum, that will be our critical surface. And if the soil is safe for that critical surface, that then we can say in general that our slope is safe. Then the question is, how do we find this factor of safety? So factor of safety here, it is found out by taking the moment of the forces about the center of the circle. So we take the moment of the driving force or the disturbing force, and we take the moment of the resisting force. So the resisting force here is the cohesion, whereas the driving force is the weight of the soil. So factor of safety is given as the resisting moment divided by disturbing moment. So disturbing moment is the moment of this weight about this center. So what is this weight? This is the weight of the soil which is there in this part A, B, C, A. So A, B, C, A is the area, and we take the unit weight, so it becomes a volume multiplied by the unit weight. So that will give us the weight of this volume. So now weight we have found, then taking the moment of this weight about the center. So this is the distance of this weight or the CG of the weight from the center. So disturbing moment is equal to force into lever arm, that is X. So that is the disturbing moment. Now resisting moment, so first we will see the resisting force. So this cohesion is in the terms of stress, that is kilonewton per meter square, multiplied by this cohesion is applied on this circular arc AB. So what will be the length of the circular arc? Now if this angle here is R and this subtended angle is theta on the arc AB, so this length is CU R theta. So this is having a unit of meter. So here we have got kilonewton per meter and multiplied by the unit width. So that will give us the force in kilonewton. So Cu r theta is the force. Now what is the moment of this force? So Cu r theta is being applied on the radius of this arc or the periphery of the arc. So moment here is resisting moment is equal to Cu r theta multiplied by r, that is Cu r square theta. So that is our resisting moment. So simply just factor of safety is given as resisting moment divided by disturbing moment, that is Cu r square theta divided by Wx. This is how we find out the factor of safety, or how we check the stability of a soil on the finite slope, and the soil is of cohesive type or cohesive soil. In this method, theta is taken in radians. Now let's see for the cohesive frictional soil. So how do we check the stability in case of cohesive frictional soil? That is C5 soil. So for this we use the method of slices, or it is also called as the Swedish circle method. So we divide our slope above the arc. So AB is the arc, so whatever the soil is there above the arc, we'll divide it in the slices of preferably equal size, and then we take the components of the forces. So vertical component, or this weight will be acting downwards, and this angle is alpha. So this is the normal component and this is the tangential component. Why cannot we simply take the weight like we did in the last method and find the resisting moment and disturbing moment. So in this method we cannot follow the procedure that we did in the last one, because here it is a C5 soil, so it means that frictional resistance is also coming into picture, and we know that the shear strength is given as C plus sigma tan phi. It means that it is also depending upon the normal stress. So the normal stress will be there because of the soil which is there on the top of that part. So this depth is varying throughout this section, and because this depth is varying, it means that normal force or the normal stress is also varying. So we divide it into the slices and we find out the normal force for all these slices, and similarly tangential force also, and then we do the summation. So there is one more assumption, that there is no force, or we neglect the force between slices. So we consider them as the individual slices, and then we find out the forces. So if we take this slice that I have shown here, so B is its width, H is the average height, and L is this length. So the area is given as B into H, and if we take the unit weight of the soil as gamma, so gamma BH is the volume if we multiply it by the unit weight. So this is the weight of the soil in this part. Now we take the components of this soil, if this weight, so alpha is the angle here that is between the tangent and the horizontal, so alpha is also the angle here. So if we take the component, so it is the normal component and T is the tangential component. Now it is having some cohesion also, so let's say the unit cohesion is C dash. So for all the part, or for a single part, for single strip, this length is L, as I have written here, this is length is L. So the cohesion force or the cohesive force is C dash into L. Similarly, frictional force is, what is it, sigma into tan phi it should be. So sigma here is the normal force, this n is replacing the sigma, so n into tan phi. So if we write the resisting force, we can write it as C dash into L plus n tan phi dash. That is for one strip, but there are many strips, similar strips are there. So for that we do the summation of all that. So that is the total resisting force and disturbing force. So this tangential component of the force, it is the disturbing force in all the slices. So total disturbing force is the sigma into T, or sigma times T. So now we take the moments of these forces. So moment of disturbing force is equal to sigma T into R, because it is acting at the radius of the circle. And similarly, moment of resisting force, it is equal to R into this sigma C dash. This was C dash small l, and we do the sigma, so it will give us the total length of this arc. So if total length here is, this length is capital L and this small length is small l, so we do the sigma of this small length, so it will give us the total length. Here we can write it as C dash capital L plus sigma and tan phi dash. So that is a resisting moment, and factor of safety we know that it is given as resisting moment divided by disturbing moment. So this R will cancel out in both the terms. So it is C dash L plus sigma n tan phi dash divided by sigma t. Now what is sigma t? T here will be, if we see in this triangle, so T here will be W sin alpha and n will be W cos alpha. So we can replace it the values here. So factor of safety can be written as C dash L plus tan phi dash into W cos alpha sigma of it divided by sigma times W sin alpha. So this way we can find out the factor of safety in case of a C5 soil.